This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by TouringPlans.com. And hey, TouringPlans.com is partnering with StudioCentral.com to bring you StarToursLive.com, providing all the coverage you're going to need for the upcoming Star Tours 2 attraction, both at Disney World and Disneyland. Check them out right now at StarToursLive.com.
Bringing the world to your world, this is Walt Disney World Today. Here are Mike Scopa, Len Testa, Mike Newell, and your host, Matt Hochberg.
It's Monday, April 25th, 2011, and this is episode 868 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for alleears.net. Welcome, Mike.
What if I fly away?
Horizons.
Hey, wow.
Hey, Mom! What is it, Tommy? Look, Mom, I'm flying. Why don't you
That's
try?
the idea, kid. You're too young to be in Walt Disney World.
Spending too much time with that beach boy.
He is not a beach boy.
Beach boy. He's a marine biologist. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, is there ever a better day than one where you can quote Horizons?
I like to think that every day is a Horizons quotable day. I'm going to make that my mission in life, is to one quote every day.
There you go. Perfect. I love it. We are answering yet again more listener questions in an attempt to catch up a little bit. So we're going to start things off here with an email from Angela from Sacramento, California. I wanted to thank you guys and gal for answering my questions regarding purchasing our flight and information to the Polynesian. We ended up with a good deal on our flight to Walt Disney World from California, and we got some of the last deal price tickets. So here's my question. We're staying on club level at the Polynesian and wondering if we should go have breakfast at another location some of the time that we're there. We've heard that Kona is great for breakfast, as is Tusker House, but not sure of other locations. It is just my husband and I, and we're on the deluxe dining plan as we wanted to get a lot of signature restaurants for dinner. Any suggestions for breakfast? Thanks for all your help and advice. This podcast, Touring Plans, and all ears have been a huge help in planning our first trip to the world.
Breakfast, huh?
Matt, if you were staying concierge, would you go anywhere else for breakfast?
Ordinarily, Mike, I'd agree with you on that, but they have the deluxe dining plan, so they've got dining plan credits.
Oh, okay.
I think I kind of agree with Mike. What I would do is I would do breakfast there, and I would save the breakfast for, and I would just double up on the dining credits for dinner and go to a restaurant that has double dining credits. Use them that way.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I would definitely say it's probably worth checking. I love Kona for all meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that one might be worth it. But I mean, to go out of your way to one of the parks to use it, I mean, that's probably, I guess to Mike's point, you want to, take advantage of the club level you're paying for. So to that effect, I would say, try to save the dining credits for other meals and take advantage of the breakfast in your resort. Next email's from, it's Angela again from Sacramento, California. I've been catching up on the podcast, and so far I've not seen or heard a podcast about the Polynesian. I was wondering if you could provide me, as I'll be staying there in December for the first time at Walt Disney World. I would like to know all your thoughts and secrets of the resort.
We did a couple of Poly shows, didn't we? Didn't we have Steve Seifert on a couple times? And
yes, you're right about that. Yeah, Angela, check out some of our older episodes with Steve Seifert. It's probably a good explanation right there.
And we also did somebody from Concierge, cast member, was on one time, wasn't it?
Yes, actually, yeah. And I remember going to see him. And he let me in the Hawaii building, and I got to see the lounge up there, which I think is probably one of the smaller club lounges.
Oh, it's I love the Polynesian.
Yeah,
it's probably it's one of my favorite resorts at Walt Disney World. I just love the theme. I think that Captain Cook's is probably one of the better, if not best, counter service resort restaurants. I love they have a vegetable stir fry. It's a chicken vegetable stir fry.
That is good.
Love that. I know many people are big fans of the adult grilled cheese they have there. They have Dole Whip available. So Captain Cook's is a real winner for me. We mentioned already Kona, which is great. Love that. They have the sushi bar, which I love. So really dining is at a premium over there, and it is really great. I really, really enjoy dining over there. The rooms are okay. I've stayed both regular and concierge. You're paying for the location and a little bit of the name, just to say the least. But I love it over there. Scopa, what are your thoughts on the Polynesian?
One of my most decadent vacations was a 2-week stay at the Polynesian, and
wow.
That was back in the day. I think it was about maybe 10 years ago. It's like to stay at Rarotonga Longhouse. I like that because it's right next to the Great Ceremonial House. I like the restaurants. I love Kona. I think that Kona is a very underrated restaurant. I do like Ohana's. I think I like Ohana's better for breakfast than I do for dinner, though. I had dinner there in December, and I was, a little disappointed in it. So I think that the restaurants there, I agree with Captain Cook's. They've expanded it within the last 5 years, and it's made quite a difference. I think that the theming is awesome. I love running around there in the early morning. And the last time I visited the Polynesian was in January, and I watched Wishes from the beach, and it's much more. Sometimes it's much more enjoyable than dealing with the crowds and then getting out of Magic Kingdom late at night. So Polynesian is. If someone said to me you could have a gold pass to stay at any resort at Walt Disney World for the rest of your life, I think the Polynesian would be right at the top of my list.
Yeah, I'd agree. There's some other fun stuff there that they have that you have to take advantage of. Check out at the Tambu Lounge. They have some unique drinks you can only find at the Polynesian. The Lapu Lapu, which is served in a regular pineapple, which is really, really cool. There's a back scratcher, another good drink there. So if you like some adult beverages, great place to check that. And the Tambu Lounge is right next to Ohana.
One more
I'm trying to
thing.
think of other secrets of the Polynesian Resort. What do you guys?
I would say check out
It's the
Steve's.
only resort that has Dole Whip.
Yes, that's true.
I would say check out Steve Seaford's page, tikimanpages.com/tiki, for all the information on that you'd want to know on the Polynesian, including history. Yeah,
he knows them and they know him.
that's right.
Next email is from Dennis from Canton, Ohio. During our research to Walt Disney World, we were driving our personal car to have dinner at Ohana. As you know, to get to the Polynesian, you have to drive through the parking toll booth at the Magic Kingdom. Rather than explain the whole dinner thing, I usually just pull out my annual pass to get through the gate. As I approached the parking booth, I unfastened my seatbelt, pulled my pass out of my pocket, and showed it to the gate agent. He waved us through. As I pulled away, I watched over my right shoulder to make sure it was clear to bear to the right to get on the road to the Poly. As soon as I crossed, I reattached my seatbelt. Within 100 yards or so, I saw an Orange County Sheriff's car pull up behind me and turn his lights on. When he pulled me over, he advised me that he cited me for a seatbelt violation. I told him that I had only removed the belt to get past the parking toll booth and then reattached it while I was pulling away. He replied that I should have attached it prior to placing the car into motion. I can't believe Disney would want every single motorist to sit in front of the parking toll while they place their wallet back into their pocket, find their seatbelt, and then reattach it. It would seriously back in parking lines. I also can't believe Disney would approve having the sheriff poaching tourists as they remove their seatbelts to pay at the parking gate. Does Disney allow the sheriff to cherry pick tourists in what I believe is an obvious attempt to collect fines? The fine was $114, by the way. Wow. I could understand speeding or reckless operation, but really, removing a seatbelt at the toll gate? The Disney magic has left me down.
I don't know who's to blame of that. Is Disney to blame for that, or Orange County?
A little backstory first. For years, the sheriff's office was not allowed on Disney property, and up until I think I want to say 2004, 2005, 2006, somewhere in the last couple of years, Disney decided to rescind that and allow and encourage the Orange County Sheriff's Office to be on property and look for mostly speeders. Speeding is always an issue, especially with cast members who were who were going pretty fast there. So now, this is one of those weird situations because the law is obviously what the cop said. You're supposed to, if you're driving the car, no matter how fast, you have to have your seatbelt on. To that effect, yeah, I would be annoyed too, because it's not like he was driving down World Drive doing 50 with no seatbelt on, right? We've all been there. You leave the parking booth, he took his seatbelt off to go get his pass, I understand that, and he reattached it within, not even half a mile. to get on there, and the guy, the cop is just looking for, like I said, he's making his quota, he's doing his thing, whatever it may be. I mean, I would be annoyed. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I tend to be more annoyed than I don't know. What do you think about the cops on property and Disney allowing them to be on property?
Well, if that's the discussion, I think that they're part of the county. They're in that county, so they have all the right to be there. And the whole idea is for them to be there to help the guest experience and to make sure that everybody is safe. I mean, I can't blame the officer for fining him. Maybe there would be another officer that would have just given you a warning, but I mean, we don't know. We don't know exactly what happened. I mean, there's an account that's been given to us in an email, but we don't know exactly what went on. So,
here's my biggest that issue. I agree with you, Mike Scopa. My bigger issue is like the cops love to set up speed traps. If you're driving into the Magic Kingdom, you're going to the Contemporary Resort, and when you go past the Magic Kingdom Toll Plaza, right, and you go past Wilderness Lodge, and there's that dip, you go underneath the underneath the waterway, and you come back out. The speed limit on that road, I think, is like 35, which is a joke because nobody drives 35 miles an hour. To ride 35 miles an hour, you have to ride your brakes the entire time. And they set up a speed trap over there, and I hate that. That really irks me because they know that. They know nobody drives 35, not even the buses. And yet they sit there and do that. So that bugs me. But to this extent, I think I agree with you in terms of the seatbelt thing. So
I think
it's a little both. But I don't blame Disney, I don't think, in this situation.
But I think they could have gave him a warning. I mean,
yeah.
The problem with that I see is that the average tourist is not going to take time off from work or time off for vacation to fight a ticket, so they're just going to pay it.
Yep, absolutely.
So they're kind of guaranteed whatever is that a moving violation too? Is that points on your license?
I don't know if we do points down here, to be honest with you, but I'm not sure.
But I mean, if he's from out of state,
I got a ticket a couple of years ago for not wearing my seatbelt in Connecticut. I don't think I got a point. I could be wrong about that, but I just remember I got a ticket. That was it.
I don't know. It's just a.
Yeah.
And like you said, I've become very conscious driving to the Magic Kingdom, especially.
Yeah, there's definitely some spots you're going to watch out for. The Contemporary spot I just mentioned. If you're coming in on 536, which is the road, it's Route 536. I don't know how to explain it otherwise. It's the road. Basically, if you just keep driving straight, you'll eventually end up in Epcot.
Yep.
There is a spot right after you get past the gate. You pass the main entrance at Walt Disney World. There's a couple trees, and the cops like to hide over there. And also downtown Disney, if you're driving from like Hollywood Studios to downtown Disney, right by Typhoon Lagoon, they like to hide over there as well. So those are some good spots to watch out for. Make sure you watch your speed. Next email is from Sue Coppola of Brooklyn, New York. Listen to your latest program on the premises. I don't know what that word is. Walt Disney World restaurants. We're heading to the world 3 times a year, and our annual pass holders and Tables in Wonderland holders. 2 years ago, we actually stayed off premises for the first time. We have not been back on property since. The difference in pricing between off-property hotels is amazing. I know they're not themed like the Disney hotels are, but quite frankly, we're never at the hotel except to sleep. I would rather put the money in the food. We usually hit California Grill, Citrico's, and the Beer Garden in Germany. We love the buffet at Cape May for dinner and always eat at Boma for breakfast. We've watched Le Soleil decline over the last few years, so much so that we no longer eat there. We started to once in a while eat off property, try the Stonewood Grill in the Dr. Phillips area. We really like it. The room is lovely, the service is always nice, and the price is half what we would get for a comparable Walt Disney World place. Cool. Thank you very much, Sue, for the review.
It's Sue's review.
I've never been there. Next email is from Sammy from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. A frequent listener to WDW Today. I wanted to commend the entire team for its great work. I have a 2-part email, a mini trip report, and a question. First, here's my trip report. I've just returned from a trip to the world in June and July 2010. Epcot has a special place in my heart, especially the World Showcase. I had another happy stay at Scopa Towers. Happy to see the extended evening extra magic hours at Epcot. We went. So disappointing. Not all the attractions in World Showcase were open. Sure, it was raining, but that's no excuse. In future, I would avoid Epcot during those extended evening hours. I know the panel is not a huge fan of the Grand Floridian, especially given its formality. Granted, from my perspective, it's way too expensive, but it's worth a visit for the Garden View Tea Room. No, it's not just for women, and my husband will attest to that. And it's great to be able to sit back and relax in the lobby for free and enjoy the live pianist and 9-piece band. I love that band, by the way. Have you guys checked out the band in the Grand Floridian?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's great. I've only seen them in the evening, so I'm not sure what their schedule is. But they have a pianist, like they just mentioned, and the band. It's really, really nice. So, on to my question. My question is, why, oh why, Matt? Well, this is more to get your attention. It's also a correction. Although Canada Day, formerly Dominion Day on July 1st and Independence Day on July 4th, do occur in close proximity, but Canada Day is not a copy of July 4th. Canada Day, also our birthday, like July 4th for you, recognizes the enactment of the British North American Act. Thank you very much, Sammy. And that'll lead us to our last email of the day. So, Mr. Newell, I'll give you 3 emails to choose from. And your options are Doobie Doobie Dooba, Illuminations, or Port Orleans French Quarter beer.
I don't know anything about Port Orleans French Quarter beer. But I know Mike knows a thing or two about Illuminations, so let's go with that for now.
All right. Last email of the day is from Amy, who writes, I was reading the 2009 official guide and I noticed the blurb about Illuminations' Reflections of Earth changing, or Disney doing another show possibly called Skydance that was supposed to come in fall of 2009. I was wondering if this was true and Illuminations is really changing.
The Skydance rumor has been out for about 2 years, and I believe that originated from someone who claimed that the person who designed Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, is now working on Skydance. I don't know if it's a true, if this is true. I do know that Illuminations, the present rendition of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, has been the most popular of all the nighttime spectaculars at Epcot, and I think that because of that, it's almost like a moment with Mr. Lincoln at Disneyland. I think it's something that it would take, a miracle to move it. I don't see why they would. The only reason they would possibly move it would be that it becomes too expensive to keep that video globe in service. I don't believe they have a backup. And, there could be something that they're working on, some other kind of prop that they would be using. But I first read or heard about the Skydance rumor at least 2 years ago, maybe as long as 4 years ago. And the thing is, Matt, that if it was 4 years ago and it hasn't happened by now, there must be a reason. So
yeah, call me a noob, but I had actually never heard that rumor before. That's interesting. I'd heard it, obviously, there might be something new, but I never heard about the Skydance rumor before.
I heard that. Yeah, that, like Mike said, that's been bouncing around for a while.
Yeah. There's always going to be those rumors that are out there, and sometimes most of the times they don't come true. They're sometimes after like a year, if the rumor doesn't come true, they start to go into these perpetual rumor categories. The most famous ones are like the monorail is going to expand, or
right.
Those type of rumors. But
time racers.
The thing is, you might say, well, then once they reach that status, they never get done, right? They do occasionally get done. A great example, Star Tours 2. That was rumored for years.
Oh yeah.
And then finally got approved. So a lot of it has to do with budgeting and logistics and operations. There's a lot more to it. It's not just a bunch of guys sitting in one room deciding what gets approved or not. A lot of times projects do get approved, greenlit, and then something changes. Somewhere down. It doesn't. Who knows what? But things get put on hold. So you never know.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, Matt. Because I think that one thing that you said that triggered a thought in my mind was the economy, and I know that for the 2010, it was 2011. I think it was for the 2011 Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. There was some thinking that they could have a second half marathon, and that one would begin on Friday, and then the economy went into the tank. So maybe that had something to do with it too. But again, you have to have a reason for doing that, and why would you why would you try to fix something that's not broken? So.
Yep. Very good. Well, that'll do it for us today. Don't forget this sponsor for today's show is touringplans.com. And if you're looking for a great place to find all the information you're going to need to make your next trip to Walt Disney World the perfect trip to Walt Disney World, touringplans.com is that resource for you. They've got touring plans, a crowd calendar to tell you which parks to go on which days, Lines, the mobile wait time app to let you know what the wait times are, not only on the day that you're going, like perhaps today, but also next month, next year, they have predictions for all of those. It's really, really cool. Check out all of these great resources, all at touringplans.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us online at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hotchkiss. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.